Happy belated Father's Day, everybody. This year, I spent Father's Day with my sons. And as you can see in this picture, we were clearly enjoying ourselves. Or maybe we were terrified. It's hard to tell. My boys love scary movies. Me, not so much anymore. At this stage of life, my ideal of horror is checking my fasting insulin after a weekend of bad decisions. But spending time with my sons was worth it. So we went to see the movie Obsession. And honestly, really good movie. Great ratings. Great Father's Day memory. And I love this picture because it captures something special. A father, his sons, a scary movie. And three faces saying, "Who picked this film?" But after the movie ended, it was time for my next obsession, meat. Now before anybody panics, let me explain. As a family, we headed to Texas de Brazil. And I have to give a shout out to my good friend Carrie from the Homestead How YouTube channel. Because about a year ago, when we had a Carnivore meetup in Chicago, I watched Carrie do something I had never done before. He told the gauchos exactly what he wanted. And I thought, wait a minute, you can do that? I used to sit there politely and let the meat come to me. Not Carrie. He'd say, picanha, lamb chops, beef ribs, bring me the good stuff. Ever since then, I've done the same thing. And I have to admit, it's a game changer. So when I walk into Texas de Brazil now, I know exactly what I'm looking for. Picanha, lamb chops, filet mignon, garlic sirloin, beef ribs. If it came from a ruminant animal, I'm interested. Chicken? Not really. Sausage? Maybe not today. Bread? No thank you. Dessert? We'll talk about that later. But sitting there enjoying all this delicious food, I started thinking about something. How do I know when to stop? Seriously, how do I know I'm full? Not stuffed, not miserable, not needing a nap and a written apology to my pancreas. How do I know my body has had enough? Because here's the strange thing. People think carnivores are obsessed with meat. But what I've discovered is exactly the opposite. Meat is one of the few foods that teaches me when to stop. And science actually explains why. Protein and fat stimulate hormones like GLP-1, CCK, and PYY. Protein also helps lower ghrelin, your hunger hormone. These hormones communicate with your brain and essentially say, we're good. Hunger mission accomplished. Slow down. In other words, this isn't just willpower. This is biology. Your gut and your brain are having a conversation. And when you eat real food, it's easier to hear what they're saying. Compare that with ultra-processed foods. Dr. Kevin Hall and his team at the NIH published a fascinating study in 2019. They placed people in a controlled environment and fed them either ultra-processed foods or minimally processed foods. Same people, same setting. And when people ate ultra-processed foods, they naturally consumed about 500 extra calories per day. Nobody forced them. They just kept eating. The food itself encouraged it. Meanwhile, on minimally processed foods, they ate less and lost weight. Think about that. Real food comes with a brake pedal. Ultra-processed food often comes with an accelerator. If you've ever opened a bag of chips and suddenly realized the bag was empty, you know exactly what I mean. Who ate all the chips? Was it me? Was it somebody else? Was there an intruder in the house? No. The dopamine DJ was just doing his thing. Salt, crunch, fat, starch, flavor, and before you know it, you're reaching for another handful. But meat behaves differently. Sure, I love meat. I joke about being obsessed with meat, but eventually something happens. The signal changes. The first bite of picanha, amazing. The second bite, still amazing. The third bite makes me wonder why I ever ate cereal. But eventually, the magic starts fading. Not because the meat got worse, but because my body got satisfied. Barbara Rose and her colleagues have described something called sensory-specific satiety. Translation: the more you eat one food, the less exciting it becomes. That's not failure, that's physiology. That's your body saying, mission accomplished. And here's where things get funny. At that same moment, cheesecake still sounds interesting. Chocolate cake still sounds interesting. Ice cream still sounds interesting. That's because hunger and pleasure are not always the same thing. Sometimes your stomach is done, but your reward system is still looking for entertainment. And that's an important distinction. True hunger says, food would help, Reward eating says that dessert looks fun. Big difference. And this is one reason low carb, keto, and carnivore eating can feel so liberating for many people. Not because meat is magical, and certainly not because people who eat this way are morally superior. Nobody gets a halo because they skip the bread basket. But when you remove sugar, refined starches, and hyperpalatable combinations, your body's signals often become easier to hear. Less noise, more signal. So how do I know when it's time to stop eating? Here are the signs. Number 1, the meat stops tasting magical. Not bad, just less exciting. That first bite says, where have you been all my life? The 10th bite says, we've had a good run. That's sensory-specific satiety. Number 2, my eating pace slows down. Conversation becomes more interesting than the food. I start sipping water, looking around. My fork starts taking little naps. That's a sign. Number 3, I feel calm, not driven. I could eat more, but I don't need more. That's peace. And that peace may actually be the finish line. Number 4, steak starts feeling like work. And I love saying it this way. When ribeye starts feeling like homework, class is over. Carnivore isn't a food competition. You don't win a trophy because the cow tapped out first. Eat until you're satisfied, not until you're uncomfortable. And number 5, dessert sounds better than more steak. That often means you're full, but your reward system wants entertainment. And if we mistake reward seeking for hunger, we keep eating long after our body already said stop. There's another fascinating concept called the protein leverage hypothesis. Researchers Stephen Simpson and David Oppenheimer proposed that humans have a strong biological drive for protein. And when protein gets diluted by ultra-processed foods, people may continue eating more calories trying to satisfy what their body really needs, which may explain why somebody can eat crackers, cookies, chips, granola bars, and somehow still feel hungry. The body may be saying, thanks for the calories, but where are the building materials? Protein gives the body amino acids. Meat provides iron, zinc, vitamin B12, creatine, carnosine, taurine, essential fatty acids. In other words, meat isn't just calories, it's information. And perhaps that's why so many people say, I don't feel deprived eating this way. Now let me be clear. This isn't saying everybody should eat carnivore. This isn't saying meat is the only answer. And it's certainly not saying we ignore medical conditions or individual differences. But it does remind us of something important. The body already knows how to regulate appetite. The challenge is that modern food often drowns out the signal. For years, many of us have been eating by the clock. Eating because it's noon. Eating because it's on the plate. Eating because we're stressed. Eating because we're bored. Eating because Netflix asks, are you still watching? Instead of asking ourselves, am I still hungry? Maybe the answer isn't another diet. Maybe it's rediscovering signals that have been there all along. And that may be the greatest lesson my obsession with meat has taught me. People think carnivores are obsessed with meat. But the strange thing I've learned is this. Meat is one of the few foods that teaches me when to stop. Ultra-processed food whispers, keep going. Real food eventually says, class dismissed. And when ribeye starts feeling like homework, class is over. And if this video helped you, subscribe to the channel. And I'd love to hear from you. How do you know when it's time to stop eating? And until next time, stay healthy, my friend.